Hello, my name is Corinne from the North Balford Library with Lakeside Library Region, and welcome to episode 45 of Boredom Busters! Also, a happy belated Mother's Day to all caregivers. I hope you all spoiled the moms and grandmas and aunts, etc. in your life on Sunday. And if you didn't, today's Boredom Buster will help you do just that. We are cooking again, and I thought that we could try out this amazing sounding recipe I found called mixed berry cheesecake muffins. Yummy, right? What you'll need for today: at least 3 mixing bowls. I've got my red one, my silver one, and this black one here. Mixing spoons and measuring things. A electric hand mixer or a lot of elbow grease. Muffin tins and cupcake liners. And then for ingredients, you will need butter, white sugar, eggs, a half a cup of milk. I pre-measured this one. Flour, baking powder, ground cinnamon, also pre-measured, cream cheese, and 1 cup of thawed mixed frozen berries. The recipe did actually call for a 1.5 cups of fresh mixed berries, but they're not in season and it is not cheap to do them right now, so we're going to experiment with frozen berries instead. And then we also will end up needing a little bit of brown sugar. Are you guys ready? Start by preheating the oven to 350 degrees Fahrenheit and put cupcake liners into the muffin tins. You could also just grease your muffin tins, but that never goes well for me, so cupcake liners it is. Now set this aside until later. In a large bowl, cream together 1 1/3 cups of butter. That's softened butter. And 1 3/4 cups of white sugar. We've got our hand mixer and I don't think my butter was quite as soft as I needed it to be. Alright, that's about as creamy as it's gonna get. So try to remember to leave your butter out for a while first. And now we're going to add 2 eggs, beat 1 at a time, beating well after each egg. So 1 egg. is what I mean a little bit more by light and fluffy. Okay, second egg. Okay. And now we want to add half a cup of milk. So this one I pre-measured ahead of time and pour in. Okay. And now we need to add 1.5 cups of now gradually add the flour, the baking powder, and the cinnamon. So I'm going to start with the baking powder and the cinnamon, and then we'll gradually add the flour. So with the baking powder, you need 1.5 teaspoons. And I'm back to using the middle ones because I'm not completely sure where my proper measuring spoons are. So I'm going to say that is 1 teaspoon and half a teaspoon. And then we need to add 1 teaspoon of ground cinnamon. Okay, so 1 teaspoon. And we're gonna mix that in. We're gonna take the spatula and scoop down some of this stuff quickly, just to help it mix a little bit better. And I'm going to do a half cup of flour at a time. And again, we're adding 1.5 cups of flours. So we're gonna add a half cup 3 times. 1, and beat. Take the spatula, get all the stuff that's coming up onto the sides. This may not have been the best mixing bowl to use, but oh well. Now for our second half a cup. And you can see that the batter is gradually getting thicker. One more half of a cup. There we go. Oh, this is smelling so good already. I think my measurements of my milk was a little bit off, so I'm going, because we don't have milk at the library, I'm going to grab a little bit of coffee whitener to add to this. So this is what you do if your batter is just a little bit too thick to mix well. I'm just gonna add a little bit of coffee whitener into there. There we go. So now we have nice, thick batter. And what you want to do now is fill your cupcake tins 1/3 of the way full with the spatula. So again, we're cooking, so I have been washing my hands lots, I promise. And we're just gonna put that into here. Just kind of. There's this thing. That's way too full. Okay, so I'm doing these about a third of the way full because after we put in the batter, we have to mix our cheesecake, and then we put a tablespoon of that into everything. And then after that, we have a strudel topping to go on top. So it's really important that you don't overfill your cupcakes at this step. See, like this one, way over full. So let's see if I can get that into here. It is hard because this batter is so thick, but it needs to be thick to support everything we're putting into it. So alright, so I'm gonna end up having to do a little bit more, but I'm only gonna show filling one set so far. Once that is done, we need to make the cream cheese filling. So in a small bowl, take your cream cheese. So I have one of the standard blocks that you get, and we need to add about 3/4 of a cup. So these blocks are just over a cup. So we can just come here and see, oh, that's where we need to stop to add them. So I'm just gonna grab a spoon here and come to where my line is and get that in there. Then we need to add 3/4 of a cup of white sugar. And our final egg. Now we're gonna try and cream this together. So we want to beat this until it's smooth. And now we want to fold in the berries. So again, the recipe calls for fresh berries, and when you're adding fresh berries, you want to add 1.5 cups. I'm cheating because I like frozen berries and I have them on hand. And I'm just gonna add a cup with this because these have a little bit of extra juice. Something else you could experiment with is you could add a pie filling instead, but with that I would probably do 1.25 cups. So, because again, it does have a little bit more juice in it than the fresh berries do, but it also has a little bit less juice than the frozen berries. Okay, and we're just gonna fold those in. So I went with berry cherry medley. So I'm thinking this is gonna be super good because it's cherries, blueberries, and blackberries. So I've just got this folded in, and I'm using my tablespoon because that's what we want to add. We want to add 1 tablespoon to each muffin. So these were supposed to be flat, so I'm wondering if I messed up and there was supposed to be more dough in them. I mean, not dough, milk in them, but we'll see. And now we get to put this back to the side again and grab our final mixing bowl and make this strudel topping. Again, fair warning, these cupcake liners are going to be full. So we need to add a 1/4 cup of flour and 2 tablespoons of brown sugar, which this I had pre-measured. Another teaspoon of ground cinnamon. And we're going to start by mixing those. And now we want to slowly cut in a tablespoon of butter. So I've got a little butter knife here. Just going to cut that in. We are going to use our hands and mix this until it is all crumbly. I'm actually going to cut in a little bit more butter because I don't think I have my full tablespoon in there yet. Making pie crusts, and we used the grater or a zester to do this so that it became crumbly easier. Good times. I'm cheating and adding a little bit more butter because who doesn't like extra butter? All right. And now we're gonna bring our muffins over and just kind of sprinkle a bit of this on top. And now we're going to bake these at 375 degrees for 25 minutes to 30 minutes, or until a toothpick inserted near the center comes out clean. Alright, so we've let this bake for 25 minutes, and now we're gonna take them out and check them. I forgot my toothpick. Okay, now we have a toothpick and we're just gonna go onto the side, and it comes out clean. So we're gonna take these out of the oven. Oh my god, this smells so good. So now we need to let it cool for 5 minutes before removing them from the pans, and we're gonna put them just kind of onto this and let them cool a little bit more, and then we eat them when they're still hot. And they're done. Again, eat them while they're warm, but you can refrigerate them afterwards and then just nuke them, but oh, so good. I hope everybody has a great rest of your day and stay safe out there. We'll see you next time.